to be sexy. I'm gonna show you 3 ways to help you be sexier. I am so glad you're here, and I am so glad that we get to talk about one of my favorite topics, which is how to be sexier. So before we go into that, I wanna ask you to subscribe to my channel, and then that notification bell, if you would click that, because every time I release one of these videos, it's gonna let you know. And if you don't, chances are you're never gonna hear from me. So make sure that you click that bell. So listen, I'm gonna give you 3 ways how you can be a sexier man. I am gonna tell you 3 stories. 1, listen. I get set up on this blind date with a guy. Now let me just preface it by saying this. All 3 stories that I'm gonna share with you, these are 3 guys that I actually had long-term relationships with. Things that work to keep your sexy on. He takes me to this like sportings event, and it's actually part of his work. And so there are a bunch of his work colleagues around. And so we don't even realize that we're being set up on a blind date. We think it's like business and other things. And we figure out that our friend was quite crafty and was actually setting us up on a date. So we're at this sportings event, and sure enough, what do guys do? He's the guy, he brings a pretty girl with him. And so the guys start giving him a hard time. They start making fun of him and this and that, as guys do, you know? It's what the British say. They're taking the piss out of him. And so they're making fun of him and this and that. And you know, for a woman, like I am thinking in the back of my mind, how is this guy gonna handle himself? He's just gonna go, take the piss out of me. Like, what is he gonna do? This guy was really interesting. He responded back with witty banter and humor. So every time they take a dig at him, be like, bro, why'd you wear those shoes? He'd be like, what, man, I like my shoes. How do you feel about your shoes, man? It was just witty. He always had to come back to say something, but it was always humorous. And for me, that was sexy. The fact that these guys were taking the piss out of him and he still held his own. He didn't get super angry, and he also didn't get super insecure, but no matter what, he was like even kill about it. And so when you're pursuing a woman, holding your own is something that's really sexy. It's like, are you gonna let the throes of life break you apart, or you're gonna hold your own, you're gonna throw some humor at it and say even kill? 2. Second one is the honey badger effect. So the second guy was really funny. We had met in a group activity, kind of an all-day sort of party, crawfish get together. We went into the night where everyone was going to the bars and drinking and this and that. So I was kind of the new girl in town, and all of the guys were like, hey, who's this girl? I had a lot more attention that night because I was a new girl. I had several guys kind of pining for me, but this one particular guy had stood out to me at the beginning of the daytime, but I didn't make any moves. In fact, a friend actually advised me against him and said, stay away from that one. As the night's going on, I have like 2 or 3 guys around me, and this guy pulled the ultimate honey badger move. Honey badger doesn't give a shit. This guy did not give a shit. I had 3 guys around me, we're talking, and this guy in the middle of all 3 of those guys walks up to me and goes, here, and hands me a drink and then walks off. That small gesture spoke volumes to me, to where eventually I found an excuse to leave those 3 guys and go find the other guy. That honey badger effect of not giving a shit despite like what other guys are around or what's going on, just going like, I see you, girl, and I'm gonna pursue you and I'm coming after you, and here is your drink, even in the midst of all these guys. Honey badger effect is going in for the kill despite the odds against you. And 3. And my last story is actually with my current love. So we got set up on a blind date years ago, did not hit it off. Same friend years later sets us up again to go to this concert. These simple gestures that made me think, this guy, like, what's going on with him? What's up with this guy? We started hitting it off, cracking little jokes here and there. Humor always helps. But he did something that is part of my love language, which is touch. As soon as we started hanging out, he began to hold my hands, touch my leg. He started creating that connection through physical contact, which, hello, as that being my love language, that's really important. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look up the 5 love languages. It'll really help you understand yourself and your partner on how you receive love. So he's touching me and this and that, and like that totally, like, you know, as a girl, like, I'm giddy, I'm enjoying it. And then starts playing with my hair. Just, you know, the little playing, the little this, the little, and inside I melted. I was getting squeamish inside. You see, sometimes it's these unknown small gestures that you do where these stories happened years ago and I'm still thinking about them and still talking about them. You have no idea how sometimes the subtle things that you can do as a man can be so sexy to us women and leave a lasting impact on our lives. Remember, you have things that are at your fingertips. You are sexy in your own way. Start putting out those gestures. Start really owning yourself when you're out in public. Go out, be the honey badger, and you know what? Throw in some touch in there and make her feel special. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to it, and also, if there's a part of this that you didn't understand, you're like, could you explain that part more? Make sure that you comment below, or if you just like the video, then tell me what you liked in the comments section below, and I will meet you there.